Assalamualaikum, and my name is Nafatia, the teacher of Saleh. I'm from 3BM MD. So today I will present about my project, which is Clear Voice Face Mask. So for the introduction of my project, face mask has become a daily necessity for us since the breakout of the coronavirus in late 2019, which is the first case is first case for the coronavirus is in Wuhan, China. So those from the first case, the virus has been spreading to all over the world. So it is compulsory for us to wear a face mask to protect ourselves from the infection of the airborne particles. Okay. So since we have to use the face mask every day if we are going out, so it is kind of make people feel uncomfortable to speak while wearing the mask since their voice is kind of muffled and can't be heard clearly. So to overcome this problem, I come out with this new invention of new face mask that come with a voice device. So a few tests will be executed to ensure the effectiveness of the product once the final product is done. So the problem statement for this project is people tend to take off their mask when they are talking to others as their voice is muffled. So they take off their mask so that what they want to say is clearly can be heard clearly by the other person. And then the existing surgical mask is unsecured as it is not fully fit to the face. So the objective for this project, there are three objectives for this project. First is to innovate the existing face mask with a voice device, to test the voice device using the visible method to check the suitable sound frequency and to provide the test result with the suitable components. So for the scope of the project, first is the university staff that need to work physically during movement control of the MCO. And then the frontliners that require regular conversation with other people during pandemic. And then last one is the workers that work involving the economic sectors. So the literature review. First is the past related works. I have compared I have chosen three different type of face mask to be compared. First is surgical mask, and then second is N95 respirators mask, and then the third one is the closed mask. So surgical mask is disposable, the same uh, the same with the N95 respirators mask, but for the cloth mask, it is reusable since we can wash it after we wear it. Since it is made from fabric like cottons, spandex, or etc. And then for surgical mask, it can filter small particles, so it is kind of a good mask to be used during this pandemic. And then for the N95, it can filter almost a minimum of 95% airborne particles. So it is kind of better at filtration compared to this chicken mask. And then for the closed mask, it kinds of unreliable because the small particles of germs like viruses or bacteria or dust still can infiltrate to the woven of the mask. Since there are some of the fabrics that used for the cloth mask are not tightly woven, so the small particles can still infiltrate to it. So the last one is for sticker mask. It is actually not fully fit to face since there will be a little bit of opening here when we wear it because it will be folded. So it kinds of not so secure even though it can filter small particles from invading our respiratory system, but with the small openings, it is possible for the small particles to infiltrate too. So for N95 respirator mask, it is designed to fully fit with our face, and there's also a design on the nose to make sure the mask is fully fit according to our face shape, the shape of our face. Okay. And then there's for the closed mask, it is not all designed to be fit to the face. For the closed mask, there are certain they are that have function as fully fit a face mask, but there's also certain closed face masks that are not fully fit. So a lot of improvise that we can we can which can be done to fix this existed business. Okay. So next is the noise measurement. So to test the device, uh, before this, to measure the noise, there are two types of um, mechanisms that can be used to measure the noise. What the first one is integrating sound level meter (ISLM), and the second one is dosimeter. Okay. Here you can see that the ISLM is hard to measure individual noise exposure if the subject is moving. So it can measure properly if the subject is in a static. For the dosimeter, it is suitable and more precise for an individual noise expression. So if we are doing a research that related to an individual noise exposure, so dosimeter is the best choice. And then second criteria is to evaluate noise of a certain task or the noise produced by the machine. So integrating sound level method can evaluate a certain task that has been decided. But for the dosimeter, it only can be used for direct noise exposure. So it kind of have a limitation there. So for the methodology of my project, the installation is uh, in methodology, it consists of a systematic, detailed, and precise theoretical analysis of the methods to a field of study. And then it comprises the theoretical analysis of the body of methods and principles associated with a branch of knowledge. And flowcharts are used for illustrations of the whole steps by step process. So the research methods that I use is internal research, where in internal research I define research problems and then I make a brainstorming. So for the defined research problem, here I use it to identify the problem, and then I will conduct solutions for the problem through the objective and audit scope. For the brainstorming, it is a process where to generate creative ideas and gathering uh, in, information from the uh, from the research past research or past works, and then from the articles, journals, and so on. And then the summary is a method, a process that encourage us to use a concept of think out of the box. So we in the summary process, we can freely give out our ideas, and then we will we will narrow the ideas uh, to get the final solution of our problem. And then for second is the external research. For this external research, I put it as research based on existing product. Okay. Research is done by reviewing the existing product, and then the primary method used to study the research is by reviewing articles, journals, and websites. So for this reviewing articles, journals, and websites, I have used it in the literature review. So there are few existing product is listed and explained that related to my study. So the expected components that will be used for to create the device is first is the electric condenser microphone, and then the printed circuit board, or also known as PCB board, and then the jumper wires to connect the component to the PCB board. Okay, and then there's also audio amplifier with a code of LN386 IC, and then the electrolytic capacitor and also resistor. Uh, I also will use the polyester capacitor and micro speaker so that the device won't be too large and not be too small, and then and it can be placed it, and it won't be awkward to place to the face mask if it is too. So for my project, this is the conceptual design that I will decide to make. Here I think that there's the place that I will put the device, the voice device, and then the design of the face mask. Here I use the adjustable strap on for connecting the face mask. So we don't have to use an additional extender because it we can just slip it on the slot and then place it on the strapper. Okay. There's also I also use ear loop function to avoid the mask from slipping when the user wearing it. So for this project, the testing tools that I use is the decimal method. It may be used. I may be used the decimal method app or the decimal method device itself. Okay. For the initial results that I will get from this project is we can see here that it is from the past research. We can see that um, for the no mass level of frequency, it is the highest. See, highest. So it means that the voice is louder for the no mass wearer, and the least level, the least the least level of frequency is at the fit close, since fit close means that the movement of the Christmas is really fit together, so it kind of block the voice from going out. So that's why it is kind of I have it's kind it has the lowest level of frequency. Okay, that's all for me.